It's the ITU's Telecom Africa Conference 2008, and the panel are sharing the good news from its most recent survey of the continent's information and communications technology sector. Back in 1990, Africa had just 8.8 million mobile phone subscribers. That figure now stands at over 250 million, with 67 million new people joining their ranks in the last year alone.
Results that we've got over the past few years in the ICT field, it's showing that the continent is growing fast. No one expected the tremendous growth that we will have today, just 5 years ago.
Delegates such as Jay Naidoo, South Africa's former Minister of Communications, also talked about the transformational qualities of mobile telephony.
The fact that many women in many villages across Africa are today using mobile phones to check the prices of their products and crops on the marketplace is empowering them, is allowing them to negotiate better prices for their crops, and thereby it allows women to achieve more rights and more power.
The consensus was that a combination of deregulation, liberalisation and privatisation has been behind the continent's take-up of the mobile phone.
Competition is key. Is really very important that African countries establish a very competitive and open market. It's very important also to strengthen the regulatory capacity of governments.
However, one pillar of Africa's ICT industry is still lagging far behind, and that is access to the internet, with less than 5% of the population, or 50 million people, actually connected, and half of that figure either in North or South Africa.
Our challenge is now how to learn the lessons from the mobile industry, look at the key success stories, the lessons learned there, and move it into internet penetration, and move that into broadband as well, because we're still lagging behind in those two.
One African country which has seen the rapid development of its ICT sector following a process of deregulation is Egypt. The industry is centred around a technology cluster known as Smart Village, home of multinational innovation centres, IT incubators and some 14,000 Egyptian employees. So far, the liberalisation of the sector has been a great success, generating revenues of $4.5 billion in less than the last 2 years.
The ICT industry in Egypt grows by around 20% annually. Indeed, it contributes to the overall growth of the economy that is around 7% this fiscal year. It is one of the catalysts of the growth of the Egyptian economy.
Egypt's reforms have also drawn praise from the World Bank and the United States.
Egypt has really undertaken very important reform of its telecom market, has opened up the market to competition quite aggressively, has done a tremendous effort to strengthen its regulatory capacity.
The current state of the ICT industry is really quite remarkable. Egypt has really become a global leader and certainly has shown tremendous leadership in the Africa and Middle Eastern community.
Other countries in Africa have also now decided to build their own versions of Egypt's Smart Village.
We're more than pleased to adopt it from Egypt here, to replicate the project. And basically this project is it's a center, it's an ICT park where it would encourage employment, where it could encourage investors to come into the Gambia.
Despite the headline figures of at least some success, Africa has only just begun to take advantage of the opportunities offered by ICT. Much remains to be done, and the hope is that the example of best practice from countries such as Morocco and Egypt will help lead the way.